ladies. Here we are. Back to mom proof. Okay, we're doing this again. This is so awesome.
Mom
Boy,
proof.
I have really
Staying
needed
bothered.
to talk to you. Yeah, I've been bothered. I've been staying bothered.
Me too.
Yeah, and being mom proof.
Thank you. Always.
Trying to hang in the art of being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
I think we might be getting to be experts at only being uncomfortable. I don't know about the other stuff, but it's coming.
Comfortable right now.
Yeah.
Only because we're sitting with our friends. I feel powerful.
We've grown. I mean, we progressed a little bit.
We absolutely
have been through a lot of things and have come out better by talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah. By owning it, acknowledging it, expressing it. Yeah.
Yes. I started this month with being true, like the
authenticity.
self.
I saw that. I love that post.
That's my new
That's
thing.
hard on
That's
people.
my new phrase.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Hashtag it, man.
Yeah, do it. Sandra, authentic Sandra.
Yeah, Sandy. No, don't. I think it's a great way. Yeah, that post was really cool because I think people are finding that people aren't finding when we look at how we're raising kids today and trying to be authentic. I think it's been hard because what they see on social media isn't authentic. Right. And so we're talking about that today. We really need to try to pull and unlayer that. Like, what does it mean? So people can teach their kids that or their partners. How do you really get comfortable in your own skin?
Well, I mean, I don't know how other people feel, but I always felt that I had to be like this group of people or these group of people. And I always had I never had this sense of belonging. Like I didn't feel like I belonged to that group or this group, right? And I always thought I'm such a strange person.
Really?
Like I can't connect.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
We had another conversation the other day. No.
And sometimes I just say what I think or I'm, like.
It really is funny after about 10 p.m. sometimes too. You don't know what she's going to say. It's great.
I don't know what I say, no.
That's awesome.
But
that's awesome.
What I started to instead of criticize myself, I've been really just kind of well, what is my purpose? I don't need to belong to a certain group of people because I am an individual, but I do feel like I contribute to several groups of people, but I don't have to be like them. As a matter of fact, I don't want to be like them.
You bring your piece of the puzzle.
I just want to give something to them.
Yeah.
And this is something that I have come to realize is that I just really I love giving and I just want to be peace.
Yeah.
I just want to give peace. If I can help you, I can help you. But if not, I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to criticize you. I just want to be myself.
A lot of energy. Yeah.
And that's
if
it.
everybody in the whole world would just stop and just be present. I know that sounds so hard.
Well, no, it doesn't. I think one of it. Yeah. Perhaps you're right. It does sound hard, but it's not impossible. It's not even improbable that can happen. If we really take a minute, which is what we've talked about before in the past, is taking a minute and sitting with your feelings, who you are. And I know getting divorced pushed me to be my most authentic self because how do you be authentic? It's what you do. If you do what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
And you deal with the ramifications, whatever they may be.
Well, and I love what
being
Sandra
true
said.
to yourself, your family.
All of that. Well, and you modeled that through your divorce. And Sandra, I love that because you are so unique in a way, like just your mindset. We've talked about that before, the direct and real logical and love that. So it's kind of cool to have a person that that brings that, so everyone has their own little weird niches that they bring to, I think.
Just like our kids. Like they're
weird though.
They have, I was going to say they have their weird niches. Yes. And we were talking about boundaries just recently and trying to manage older kids where, they're 18, they're 20, whatever. When can you actually say no?
Yeah.
But one of the things you said about a weird little niche is reminding me of someone being a Scorpio and how they immediately withdraw. If there's some issues, you withdraw, you don't say anything, you listen, you just silent treatment.
Do you confer with that?
Oh, I don't know. Not that I'm a Scorpio and may know another Scorpio. Of course, yes, that is
a Scorpion trait.
That is Scorpio.
Okay.
Yes.
It makes me feel better though, because Sagittarians, Sandra, I don't know what your sign is.
Aries.
Oh, I love that. We are. Oh, that's fire. Mm-hmm. We did this before. You're water.
I'm wood. I'm with.
Are you sure?
Y'all are trying to light
I'ma
me
look
on
that
fire.
up.
Is that what's going on? Well, you know what? I
Okay.
can take it. You just go ahead.
I believe
I had.
Are you sure you're not a water sign?
I'm sure.
You would know because you love that stuff
I'm the
too,
wood.
right?
Well, that's my Chinese one. Maybe we should look it up.
Oh.
Okay, we'll get back.
We'll
to
get back to that. But it's hard because I think as they've gone off and they're proving these young adults,
Yes,
they're proving they can do this.
they can do it.
are.
Good
Whether it's
point.
budgetary issues or just maybe parameters a parent when you don't agree with a choice they're making. I mean, when does that stop? Do we get to like tap out of our opinions at some point?
Actually, you're gonna have to. I'm here to tell you.
Tapping out
after
of-
thousands of dollars of therapy again.
Which goes back to though, you know some stuff about. Tell us about this age group.
Well, there is a time when you have to just tap out. Your opinion really doesn't matter to them.
It does if financially you have some investment.
Okay, that's a
Sorry,
different ballgame.
I know.
You
just
better
had to throw
believe it.
that in
If
there.
they're counting on you to pay the bills,
Thank you.
put a roof over their head and feed them, you have
a little
say.
bit of leverage.
You
Not
have a
even
say.
leverage. It's say. I hate the word leverage.
You
it feels
have a
like.
say. Later on, not as much. Or should you? It's like I have a grown son with a kid. I'm not going to tell him what my opinion is unless he
Right.
asks for it.
That's right. That's
Why would I want to jeopardize any kind of? But now in the 20s and the 18s, you have kids that are saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this. It's my money, or I'm an adult." Oh, really?
Yeah.
When's the last bill you see? It goes back to the money though. Every time I remember being so mad at my parents when they would use the money angle, and now I find myself using the money angle.
Oh my God,
in
we
that
do become our
relationship.
parents.
Ah!
No.
But what if you
swore
give
I
them
never
a
would.
budget
Well, I know.
and you just stick to that budget?
And then they don't, and they overdraw, or they don't overdraw, but they run out of money, and they can't
then
eat.
they have to deal with
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good lesson.
Because
Okay. And
If
you're
you're
going to let your
bailing
kid
them-
go hungry? Tell me
No,
that.
I can't deal.
they're
I'm the
never gonna
enabler.
go hungry.
I'm listening to
they
her.
just have to wait till the next day when their meal plan resets. They're never really going to go hungry.
The meal plan does not reset daily, does it? Does the meal plan reset daily?
Mine does. It resets.
So they get
every
like
day.
20. I'm making up something.
Yeah.
$20 a day.
I want a meal plan.
Oh,
Really?
You
I
get
want
$30 a day, and if you don't use it or you run out, then you have to wait for the next day.
I actually don't know if that's how ours is. Oh my God. I just think my kid better figure out the budgeting.
Yeah, so maybe if they ate
Back
too
to
much
budgeting.
breakfast or lunch,
Because they were
they're not
hungover.
gonna have dinner.
Yeah, they're hungover. What?
No, because they have to deal with it on their own, whatever it is.
They're hungover. I'm like, that's another podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, I just think that I mean, what are we gonna do? I mean, I don't know. My daughter called and said, "I don't have enough money. I feel like I don't have enough money." And then at first, I kind of felt sorry for her. I was like, "Well, what do you mean? Because I'm paying for this meal plan every month." And she's like, "Well, it's expensive here," which it is. California's expensive.
Yep.
And she's like, by the time well, this is where budgeting kicks in. How much money are you spending on lunch and how much are you spending on breakfast, let's say? And then that leaves you how much you're going to have left for dinner. So maybe have a lighter lunch.
So you
it
walked her
you
through
know,
that.
I don't
That's kinda
know.
cute, though.
Figure it out because
I think that's good that you actually just
at
articulate.
first I was going to say, look,
That's really patient.
If you
Because
need
I
to
would have
have-
been like,
Figure it out.
girl, ask your friend. Good luck.
That's a mom that's had 6 kids.
Yeah.
We're the
Like,
moms that
that's
just
really
had our first one. We're like, should I
Y'all
come
keep
make you a
going ahead and
sandwich?
coaching through that. I'm going to say to all those parents out there, start this conversation the beginning of your senior year.
She's
Yeah.
right.
Talk to your kids about
She's right.
pretend like you have a meal plan.
Yeah,
Check
we
it
didn't
out.
do
This
that.
is how it'll be.
You did
Hindsight's
that your
always
whole
20.
senior year?
Yeah. Again, kid number 6.
Why didn't you tell that one
I
on the
meant
podcast
to.
earlier?
I meant to. I
At the
can't
beginning,
think
we
of it
didn't
all.
do one at the beginning.
well, you don't think about that stuff. You think, well, they have a meal plan, but I didn't know meal plans.
So,
Like I thought,
see?
like all you can eat cafeteria.
That's what it was when I went to UT.
It's not like that
Okay,
anymore.
y'all. Enough in the meal plans.
That was 30
We're going to
years
move
ago.
on from the meal plan. Because what we need to talk about is
Getting them outside?
Yeah, you know what? Seriously, here's a worry I have right now with these kids. They're back in school full on. They have homework. It's been hot as Hades here, just terrible. Yeah, but I
They're
mean,
still
just
inside.
in general, okay, they're
Yes.
inside. We've got to get these kids out and get connected with nature. And I know, Sandra, you're just reading about this again from Gaber.
Yeah.
And
Gaber Mate.
sorry if I didn't say his
You don't
name
say
right.
his name right.
But that is important. And I've heard that for years about how important it is. Experts say, I mean, child psychologists, if one of the first things they'll say when your kid is on a screen, how much outdoor time do they have? What are you getting them outside? Are they feeling the dirt beneath their feet? You know?
Yeah, and you read all this like, oh, so much screen time, and then, but I don't think that we have really realized, or I didn't realize how important it is, or how many things are being taken away from the child development by allowing them to have all this screen time. So they're not practicing creative play. They're not outside. They're not having to problem solve like in nature or like in
connecting with nature. How about that?
With nature, right?
Gosh.
And so it is hard because the thing is, once you have your child disconnected, now you have to be responsible for what are they going to do next, you know?
So this goes back to this family
so
time too.
good,
One of the
yes.
most important things we can do as parents is spend time with our kids.
Outside if possible.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
like-
take it to another level, you know, go to the drive-through, but go to the freaking park or go sit outside and eat the hamburger outside or anything. I mean, just
Right.
whatever you can do.
Yes, it's walking
think
dogs. They
parents
go
need
back
to
to the
be
pets.
creative.
We do need to be creative. And Sandra, you guys at such a good tipping point, still being in his elementary years. You know, I think, and even with my junior, supposedly, the thing that saves me, I think, for that particular human is that he is in a sport. And it is an indoor sport, but it's lots of running and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of endorphins that go with exercise, as we know.
right.
So I appreciate that for him, and some other sports psychology stuff they're doing to help the young men think about how they are feeling about themselves when they're, you know, critical and so forth. But the research behind being outside and literally getting the vitamins from the sun and the just, you know, the tactile sensations from nature is just unbeatable, you know. So I cannot wait to read that book, by the way, which is, I'll tell you what it's called in a second. I'll look. It's really good. Sandra, thank you for teaching us that about remembering to go back to nature.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was listening to the to a podcast, and then, you know, just because I do still have a younger child at home, I was like, who loves to game, who loves being
Yeah, he
on
does.
anything that, you know, I have to basically rip the phone out of his hands to
Such
like,
a love language for these kids. Technology.
but
It is. It's a huge deal.
It's a sixth one.
and I was like, you know, because when my daughter was younger, I would like, you know, it wasn't, I don't think it was as bad, but then, you know, then social media too, right? Like, he keeps asking me, when am I going to be able to get, you know, all these?
Snap.
Yes. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I did
Maybe
it with the
ninth
first
grade.
one. I don't know.
Ever?
I think
When's a good
one
age?
thing I wish I'd done differently as a parent, I had
not
with
now.
kid number 4.
Okay.
No, kid number 3.
I got to count them down. Don't say names. Okay.
No, it's kid number 4. So he was really into gaming.
Oh, I remember that.
Very into gaming. And my ex and I would just think, God, that's all he does is game. We can't get him outside. We can't get him to do this or that. And I realized one time when I was talking to him and I said, well, what are you really doing? Because all I saw was guns. Well, he's talking to other people, so he's communicating. He was talking about strategy. He was understanding the joy of winning, the agony of losing. I mean, there were all these different components that were going on. Now, yes, I know it goes to extreme, and yes, sometimes it does take away from their social abilities.
But what they've taught about online, here's one thing, I am interrupting purposely.
No, that's okay.
Is that after 2 consecutive hours of gaming or any electronic stimulation, your brain begins to make permanent changes in a way that accommodates that activity. So it could be the communication part, but it could be like I'm blasting people's heads off and feeling some weird
That's a
satisfaction.
good point, though.
So the
So you
2
don't
hour
know which one it is.
No. So the 2 hour point is a good marker for all of us, and think about it for yourself
It's good to
too.
know.
But for people that are still raising their young people and our older kids, 2 hours, take a break. Just go, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, get off of that thing, let that brain reset, because you are permanently shifting brain pathways, which are neurological and then resistant to change later.
That's so important.
That was such an interesting thing. Thanks for bringing that back up. My God, now they're in college. We need them to take breaks from all the electronics.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, is to really remind them to
2
take
hours.
a break. That is a good idea. We do it. I'm in the office, stand up, sit down.
Do you do the
I do.
20-20-20?
Oh,
Remember that one on the screen?
is that with the look at something else?
Look at something else. 20, like after 20 minutes, do 20 feet away for 20 seconds.
20 seconds, yeah. That's
I don't
actually
have that
good
problem
for
because I
it's good
have
for
a hard
eyesight.
time sitting still.
You're like,
I'll do something like for 10 minutes and then I have to get up and even go get a glass of water.
There you go.
And then I come back, or I go walk my dog. Then I come back.
So that's ADD.
I just like, what I can't do.
I
this
can
no more.
redecorate an entire house. and have 10 meetings at the same time. I will do that. I'm not going to lie. I've been known to I got to rehang that. Okay, but that's
Right
okay.
now.
That's what ADD does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when we understand it, it's helpful for our kids. It's a shame it took me so long.
Well, they didn't talk about that when we were growing up, right? We all now know
and
we
a
were
diagnosis,
undiagnosed.
ADHD for women and girls is much different.
Yes, and the
for men and boys.
overdiagnosis for men and boys that is happening, I think, at the younger age, like it's gotten way out of hand with the diagnosis and medication. Another story, some other time.
So the point to that is stay
Get your
connected
kids
to your
outside.
Kid. Get them outside.
Get them outside.
Get them
And
outside.
even like what you said with the heat, though, but you can go early in the morning, or you can go late at in the evening to get them
course, there's
outside.
options.
Totally.
Yes, we have to
Totally.
do
There's
it.
not a certain time of day, right? They say do your sit-ups and your push-ups at home whenever you can fit them in. Well, same with your kid. Get outside, and that's even better. Do exercise outside with your kids.
That's
really
really
talk about endorphins, man.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people walking their dogs with their
You
children.
see I love that. Okay, let's talk about pets. You know that's an unrecognized therapeutic tool that most of us have. Let's acknowledge that because those pets, man, they do a lot of good.
You're
They
right.
don't have to be therapy pets,
No,
Think
you're
about
right.
it.
You're
I know.
absolutely right.
Service
I mean,
dogs,
Service dog,
responsibility.
which I love that.
I saw, as a matter of fact, it was in one of those snippets of what to do when your kid goes off to school. I think it was a student that you sent, Kathleen, and he said, send pictures of the animals. So if your kids are away, and I've been doing that, is just sending random pictures of my dog or the cat to Avery.
Okay, you know those little pillows you can buy? You see it on Instagram, maybe not, that you can put your dog's face on a pillow.
that's cute.
So I know that this won't be posted enough. Those should be arriving for Reagan today. These
Okay,
little
that's
ones
cute.
of Annie, one of Emerson, but they're little small 10-inch ones because the beds are so small. Anyway,
That's funny because every
dogs are showing up.
When I do hear from my
Pets.
daughter, she's like, "Send me videos of milkshake."
oh,
or
I
dog."
love that name though too.
And then I was always like, okay, and it's so funny because at first he would get very excited because he would see her on FaceTime. She doesn't FaceTime me, but she wants to FaceTime the dog. And he would get so excited.
Did you hear her voice?
But now he's mad.
She's not there.
He's turns his face, looks
That's a
up,
smart dog.
refuses to look in
Look
the
at us.
Freaking therapy dog. You just lost your job.
That's what we're staying bothered
We're
about.
staying bothered about therapy dogs.
The dogs.
Dogs are
The
smarter than we
pets.
are.
Yeah.
No, but I'm glad that we have honored the fact that the kids have done a great job. We've learned to set some boundaries. We've also learned about how we're evolving. That's huge to stop, like you said last episode, and talk about where have I come from?
Right,
I mean,
as parents,
yeah,
moms,
this
whatever.
is-
And we're in different spaces.
We are. Sandra's got the 5th grader. I have a junior. Jamie's newly dating and has another 17-year-old at home.
She doesn't live with me. But
Yeah, but she's around, man.
Yeah.
And you're
Well, and
part of that influence, which is good.
Well, and I love it. I think it's there for a reason. I
Oh,
think,
yeah,
you know,
everything for a reason.
right. So I'll go with that. I thought I was going to be,
Done.
yeah.
When is done, though?
Yes.
You know what?
When is done?
It's not. You're
don't
not.
think so.
Mom
You have a
mode
30
only shifts.
Mom mode shifting
I don't
into
think you. Yeah, I don't think you completely come out of it or
You're
go
neutral?
into it even more. I think you're just in different gears at different times.
When do our kids shift into mom mode for us?
Oh God! But then we know our end of life is near.
Oh God.
Don't make me go there. You know I'm getting cataract surgery in a couple months. My eyes are so bad that I have to get cataract surgery at 56. Can you believe that?
Well, I can't wait for you to turn 57 because that's when it's just a slice of heaven.
Oh
It's
snap!
gonna
I
be
turn
awesome.
57 soon. So
I
thank you for
know.
reminding
It's
me
around
that.
the corner. It's awesome.
With new
and you'll be able
eyes.
to see.
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
That's awesome.
I don't expect
So-
her to come home and care for me. Is my point. I don't think mom mode's going to kick in for her. I think thank God there's the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Well, and we don't want it to.
No,
We
I don't want
them
her
to
around. I
live
mean,
their life.
It sounded terrible when I'm
No.
sick.
Right.
When I'm sick,
Right.
Be healthy.
Although I'll tell you, even at 18, when they're sick.
Oh God, did you just deal with that? Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So how do you deal with the sick college student? You go
Yeah.
and get them.
No, you're lucky. Yours is 45
I know.
minutes.
I know.
Yeah, well, how would you
That's-
deal with your child sick if they go far away?
Well, I've dealt with that too. So I was
has.
really grateful.
so
And,
what
you
did
know,
you do?
Well, you
She was
have to
in-
rely on roommates and whoever's close by, and you have to talk.
Do you have the roommate's phone number?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Get the roommate's phone.
I do have
numbers.
one, not the
yeah,
second,
plus
but I
another
never-
neighbor.
Yeah,
Plus a
yeah.
neighbor.
Okay, thank you. Good
You're
one.
welcome. So when they're far away, they actually have to take care of themselves sometimes because there's no choice, you know.
Sounds so.
Getting on a plane is sometimes not an option right away, but I was lucky. So
And
just
you
in
were
case
there.
you didn't know, COVID's back.
Hey, Whoopi Goldberg even was on her show recently. They were making a big deal that Whoopi was off the air because she had COVID. I'm like, who gives a? I mean, I'm just saying, let's just take care of it. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Not like to put you down, but let's not
No,
make it a
I'm with
national issue. I'm not like
Okay.
kids going to
we
school.
are not talking politics. Can we do it? We're coming into an election
Oh
year.
my God, sorry.
which, by the way, I think we should end this episode.
Okay,
with
yeah, before I go off.
We're any one of us could at any given time.
We could.
I think parents should really be talking to their kids about what's going on in the political world right now.
It is a time to be honest. and
I think
talk.
there's discussion to be
get to
had.
vote.
In a
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
They're gonna vote. They're gonna
exactly
vote.
it.
Yeah, they need to be aware of their choices.
We've been talking about it, just saying, look, you can vote this year, and you should, or this next election. So, anyway, it's another one of those things.
That's a
lots of things to talk
great
about. So,
Point. Getting
Family
outside,
dinners.
Family dinners.
take them outside, talk about what's going on in the world, set your boundaries. Moms,
Budget.
good luck.
Always.
I know.
Always.
So if
because
you
we're
could
stronger
describe-
together.
All right. If you had a magazine that you were going to name after a teenage experience that taught you something good, bad, or ugly, what would it be? Ooh, how about
You go
that one?
first.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm going to say out in the field.
And this is a college experience or teenage experience?
Teenage.
Okay.
Okay. It would be for either. I grew up in shirts. I mean, we would go out to the field and have our parties out there. These
Of
kids
our
like have
teenage experience or our kids?
Any.
ours.
Oh, I'm glad she clarified that. Yeah, I was about, okay.
Ours.
Okay.
Oh, God.
No, you don't want to get crazy. But that's just a fact that when I grew up, we could go out to a field and party.
I
These kids sometimes
know.
don't have places to go.
Yeah, well,
And
that was a good time for us.
anyway, out in the field.
Out in the field.
I was going to, I don't know.
Do you have a second one? Because I'm like,
No.
okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I have 20.
No.
Okay. I have Miss Independent.
Okay, it's just like, can we call you Kelly Clarkson? That can be your theme song.
I do love that
I
song.
love it. Okay.
I just feel like we had so much independence, almost to a fault. And I lived away from my parents my senior year, and they weren't around really when I was in college because they were just. I just independence. I was like 17, like just.
Good for you.
I know, but it has some backlash to it. But it was times were different, and I feel like
So Miss Independent.
Miss Independent out in the field.
Okay.
She we knew
I feel
each
like I'm
other.
in a different section.
Right?
I'm in outdoors or something.
which is where you should be.
I think mine would be Lost in the Park.
Oh, okay, cute.
Okay, I like it. I like it. That's so cute. But I think it's deeper than cute, though.
Yeah, it's deep. It's definitely deep. That's a book title. We'll do that again. So until the next time, then we'll wrap it up.
Awesome.
So that's it.
Thank you. Adios.